Hey, this is Mike Sugula from TrueFury.com and welcome to another video. So, today we will talk about how to find our purpose, why I think this is really important for everyone. So for example, I didn't know what is my purpose for a very long time. You know, in my 20s, I still didn't know exactly what is that I want to do in life. And I meet quite a lot of people who are seeking for this kind of answer, who want to know what is their purpose, what is their passion, what career they should start, things like that. I do coaching one-on-one, and sometimes this is what people struggle with. They need some clarity. So this is what we're going to talk about today. So why this is so important for most people. If you think about it, most of our adult lives revolves very often around our work. This is reality for many people, if not for majority. So you spend 1/3 of your life asleep, which is something necessary, and then 1/3 probably on going to work, you know. Before is maybe education and things like that, which is also related. And then the rest of the time you have to, I don't know, do some chores, eat, buy food, sort out some other things, a little bit of leisure, pleasure, and that's it. So really, for many of us, or for most of us, our lives revolve around our careers, our work, etc. And if you are in some kind of career or industry that you are not very happy with, for example, that's not good, because you know, you don't want to spend whole your life trying to do something you are hating, for example, right? On the other hand, a lot of people have this false idea that maybe if they're gonna follow their passion and then do some kind of career that is resonating with their gifts and talents and their interests, a lot of people think that everything's gonna be bliss and beautiful and amazing. And this is also false to some extent, because almost always everything has its pros and cons, and sometimes you think, oh, this person is living for their purpose, they do what they love, they are good at it, but they had to overcome enormous challenges to get there, or they still have many aspects that they need to do on day-to-day basis, for example, that they don't like, but they do it anyway because this is needed for whatever it is that they're doing. Let's quickly take my example. So creating educational content, talking about some philosophical ideas or metaphysical ideas or spiritual concepts, this was always my passion. I was always interested in these types of fields, but I was not a good public speaker. I lacked skills, I lacked vocabulary, I couldn't express myself. You know, English is my second language, I'm dyslexic, I always had problems with these things. So to be able to do something I love doing, I had to do a lot of things that I didn't like doing. Like writing some essays or practicing public speaking over and over and things like that, you know. Like even reading for me was always a big challenge because I'm heavily dyslexic. So I had to work 10 times harder than everyone else to do basic things. And I had to do it because I knew that I'm not gonna be able to do what I wanna do in my life if I'm not gonna get good at some of these things. So it's kind of something to think about, that very often things are not as beautiful as they seem from the outside. Sometimes people think, oh, I would love to be a movie star, And when you actually listen to some actors, what they had to go through, sacrifice, challenges, rejection, stress, things like that, and many failed on the way. So this is kind of reality. Remember that very often it's not all bliss. Even if you're gonna find your purpose, your passion, and you're gonna turn it into some kind of career, it's still not gonna be beautiful all the time. It depends, but most of the time it's challenging anyway. And I think is that a lot of people have this false idea of some kind of path that it's gonna look like this and that, and once they give it a try, they're disappointed. So for example, I knew someone a couple of months ago who really wanted to get to a best theater school, one of the top schools in the country, in Poland, and she thought this is going to be a perfect career, acting in the theater, studying at one of the best universities, things like that. And she got rejected 3 or 4 times. She applied, right? So every year she tried to apply to this university, and it's a top school, so it's very difficult to get in, and she were rejected, right? So in the meantime, she was studying a different subject, but doing that degree in acting, in theater acting, was her dream. So she kept trying every year, and finally, I think it was the 3rd or 4th time, she got approved. And once she got there, her dream came true, and she learned that she doesn't like it. She didn't like the people there, she didn't like a lot of the things about it. So I see it quite often that people go to university, for example, they think, oh, this is going to be good for me. Once they start learning something, they learn, this is completely different to what I thought. Oh, it's boring, there are all these other things I didn't take into consideration, things like that. So with big decisions like that, it's really good to first do a little bit of research and try to understand how it really gonna look like, and not what is your belief about it, because very often these things are very different. So one thing that I always recommend is find someone who already is doing what you are aspiring to do, and try to learn from them, to get some advice. So let's say I know someone who is thinking about options. Maybe I should become a programmer, maybe I like playing video games, maybe I should start designing video games, something like that, right? Now I connected this person with a couple of programmers so he can get some ideas from them, and someone who is a game designer, right? So think about it this way: you want to find someone who is doing what you want to do, and try to persuade them to talk to you about pros and cons of doing what they are doing. So let's say, let's say you want to be a hairdresser, barber, whatever, and you have some local hair salon. You go there and you think, oh, this would be amazing, I would like to do that, I would like to have my own business like that. Try to talk to the owner or one of the staff next time you're gonna go there, and start talking to them about it. Say, listen, I was always thinking about becoming a hairdresser. I would love to learn from you more about it. How about we go for a lunch one day, it's on me, and you're gonna tell me a little bit about it. Some people gonna say yes. This is how I would often get mentoring from other people. I would try to offer them something and ask them to tell me more about something that I want to learn from them. Remember, you're gonna offer a free lunch to this person, they're gonna be more likely to go with you and have a chat. And then you can ask, what is good about it? What's wrong about it? Is everything how you expected? And any other relevant thing about it, right? What is that I need to do to get to where you are? What are the biggest challenges about it, etc. right? So this is just an idea to think about, because it's better to do that than commit to some career or university degree, and then once you are halfway through, you're gonna learn, oh shit, this is not what I thought, right? You don't want to waste a lot of time like that. So it's good with big decisions like that to make a lot of research before, real research. Another thing is that some paths or careers are high reward, high risk of failure type of careers, let's say. So for example, being an actor. It's very, very difficult to become a very successful actor. But if you're gonna become a very successful actor, let's say, the rewards are incredible, right? A lot of money, fame, all the other aspects, right? But only a very few people succeed because it's a very challenging industry, and there are so many negative aspects to it. You get rejected all the time, and you gotta become okay with it, right? Another example of such career could be, for example, being a professional athlete. It's either you are very good athlete, so you can make money from it and you can pay your bills and things like that, or for most athletes, they are not able to make enough money to sustain themselves. Plus, you're not going to be an athlete all your life. You can do it for a period of time, etc., right? Even being a blogger, something, let's say, something like what I'm doing. It's also like that. A couple of people can do well, few more can pay their bills barely, and the rest, they keep trying and they can't get to that level where they can actually sustain themselves. So it's important to think about these types of things, what kind of path you want to choose, because some of these paths are very hard. Being maybe a startup entrepreneur, being a DJ that can easily pay bills from their career, things like that. Being a model, for example. And not everyone has that drive to become very, very, very good at it. The odds that you're gonna fail are very high. So something to think about, is this for you or not? Because maybe you're not this type of person who would pursue a goal and be obsessed about getting to that goal for a decade or 15 years or something. And this is what's very often required in some of these fields. Another thing is that a lot of people have these false ideas about some kind of path, some kind of purpose, something like that. So I've seen it many times, and I was one of these people as well. So for example, someone wants to be an actor because they think, that's gonna make me a lot of money, I'm gonna be famous, and I'm gonna get everything I desire. So the goal, the reasoning behind why they think this is the path for them, it's not because they love acting, they love movies, whatever. It's because they think that the results that gonna come with this type of career will benefit them and are nice. And I see it a lot. Someone wants to be a blogger, writer, coach, influencer because they want to be like digital nomads, travel the world and get some fame and all these things, but they don't understand that it requires ridiculous levels of work very often before you're gonna break through. And if you are not in it for the game, like as they say, if you don't enjoy acting and putting hundreds of hours into practice and things like that, and very often it's challenging and stress, and you have to push yourself. If you're not gonna be okay with these things, then you have zero chance. And that's what often distinguishes the people who are actually succeeding in some of these areas from the ones that fail, because the ones that succeed, they just are obsessed about it. They love the craft. They love to do it. Sometimes they could do it without anyone paying them even, right? So this is a very important thing. Why is that you think this is the right path for you? Is it because you think that you're gonna get something, some goals? So sometimes people think, for example, that I want to become an entrepreneur in tech industry, some kind of CEO, start a startup, some kind of innovative idea, because this is cool and that's going to make me a lot of money, and all of these companies, they grow fast and the CEOs become millionaires and things like that, right? So again, you're not in it for the right reasons, right? You think that this is going to be good for you because of some kind of rewards that might come with this as a result. You're not interested in solving a problem. You're not interested in, building some product because you have some incredible idea and drive for it, and you love engineering and things like that. This is not the primary reason. Sometimes it might be a little bit of that, but you are more interested in the reward that you think will come as a result. And these people often are for wrong reasons. So this is not your purpose, and you're gonna learn very quickly that it's not gonna look as you thought. So very often there are so many other elements to this whole thing of grinding, of stress, of making some challenging decisions, that these people didn't know how difficult it is, and they didn't take that into account, and very often because of that they will fail quickly, or they just don't have some of these skills necessary to run something like that. So this is something to think about, about these false ideas of purpose, that you think this career is going to be good for you or this path is going to be good for you. Another thing is that, let's say you have some strong passion, maybe you're an athlete, you love sport, and your dream was always to become a boxing champion, for example. And like I said, most people fail here, and it's still not so bad, because maybe you have a lot of experience now in this field, a lot of knowledge, and you can become a coach, for example, or some kind of blogger, writer, someone who is actually helping others to educate them about the field you are passionate about. So, sometimes you can kind of still do something you're quite passionate about in some of these fields, high reward, high risk, right? Without going all in, or even if you fail. So, and I think for those people who are still not sure what is their purpose or passion and things like that, is think about it. What is that makes you tick? What is that you think you love doing? What is something that brings you a lot of pleasure, right? Remember what I said about false ideas? Because, let's say I loved clubbing when I was younger. But now I think about it completely differently. I think about it a little bit as some kind of unconscious, toxic thing sometimes, full of alcohol, drugs, things like that. So, maybe what you think is great now might change in 5-10 years when you're going to get a little bit older, for example. Consider that as well. If you're still not sure what is that you're really good at or passionate about, things like that, you can ask other people around you. Maybe they're gonna tell you, you're always good at, baking or cooking or something, or languages or whatever it is. So maybe your friends or family or some people around you know what is that you are good at, for example. They can help you with more clarity on finding your purpose. Remember that we are all different, and very often these ideas about what's good, what should be my purpose, what should be my path, come from these false programs where you have this imaginary idea about how it's going to look like, and it's completely different to what you think. And for example, you might be talented in a completely different area, So remember, we are all different, but we all have our own gifts, talents, predispositions. In my view, it's always really important to try to focus on what is that is unique for you and what is that you're good at, or at least develop that, because then you're going to be really good at it, hopefully, if you're going to put enough effort into it. Now, we can talk more about it, but I just wanted to give you a couple of ideas about it, and I want to say a couple of things. If this is something that you struggle with, like you are thinking about what is my path, what is my purpose, what kind of career I should start, maybe what kind of courses I should take, or university degrees or something like that, you can reach out to me, because I help people sometimes with these things. I do coaching one-on-one. So if you go to truetheory.com/coaching, you can use the contact form there, send me an email, and sometimes I help people to figure these things out. So that's one thing. I typically do a free introductory call, so nothing to lose. Second thing is that I actually dedicated a section in my online course, Exit the Matrix, about finding your purpose, finding your passion, things like that. So you might want to check that out as well. If you go to truetheory.com/academy, you can get my course for as little as $60 still. The coupon code Black Friday Together works still. There are still a couple of left at this price. Go to truetheory.com/academy and use the coupon code Black Friday Together at the checkout, and you're gonna get access to the course that helps in many of these areas, and you're gonna get access to a whole online course where one of the sections is to help you to find your purpose, your passion, things like that. So let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Hope this resonates. If it makes sense, give it a like. Let me know in the comments what you think about it. Share it with others. Thank you for that. And follow me on Instagram. It's Mike Segula on Instagram. So thank you for watching or listening. Until next time.